Hey guys, MCU Collector here with the next video in the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, Deadpool Wave 2 Dr. Karl Lykos Sauron Build-A-Figure. So here we have the X-23 Laura Kinney all new, all different Wolverine. So basically she donned the blue and yellow costume and you know, paying homage to Wolverine when Marvel did the all new, all different. And this is kind of the look that she was given, and then the you know, the new logo and everything. So really awesome figure. I really like the way the blue and the yellow looks together. Pretty cool. And then we get that unmasked head, so that's awesome. But then the big thing is you could see the left arm, I think it is, to Sauron in the package. And because, you know, the arms come with the wings, that thing is spread out throughout the whole package. So that is looking really cool. Up at the top we get an X logo, which can't, oh, there it is. X logo, Wolverine logo down there at the bottom. Legend series. Here is the side of the package, looking very cool. You know, we get that little splash of color, that yellow blue in there with the blue, the black and the red. Really pops and stands out. So, you know, you see these hanging on the pegs, they're really going to stand out at you and really grab your attention. So I really like that Hasbro has done that with some of the packages. Here on the back of the package, we have a look at the promo shot of the figure, and we have the whole wave. So we have the Sauron Build-A-Figure. We've already looked at Omega Red. We've taken a look at the X-Men shirt Deadpool, or Madcap Deadpool, or X-Men trainee Deadpool, whatever you want to call him. Next is we saw the Deadpool with boxers, or the Deadpool and Chill Deadpool. We're on the Wolverine figure now. Next up will be Lady Deadpool, and then Bishop after that, and then we'll go on to the Sauron Build-A-Figure wave. So really awesome looking figure. Let's take a look at that bio. Okay, Laura Kinney uses assassin training paired with powerful claws to take down anyone who makes the mistake of crossing her. Oh, so really cool. So we know that X-23 is the clone of Wolverine, female clone of Wolverine, of course, and she has 2 claws and toe claws, which this figure does have. And again, there is a look at the rest of the wave. So really cool. And then here is the UPC for you folks. If I can ever get that in clear. And of course I have the damaged box so you can't see it. But there's the UPC for you guys. So really cool looking figure. Let's open it up and take a close look at it. Alright guys, here is the X-23 Laura Kinney Wolverine out of the package. And this, again, this is a very awesome figure. It's nice to really go along with the previous X-Force X-23 that we got. So really cool. So there's some similarities. They both share that teenage female body, so it is you know, on a little bit on the smaller side of figures, but the paint actually looks pretty good. Now we know that there's been a lot of QC paint issues lately with the Hasbro Marvel Legends, especially when it comes to the X-Men line. For some reason, I wonder if it has anything to do with, you know, the Avengers side, X-Men side, conspiracy theory going. I'm sure that has nothing to do with it, but here the paint actually looks pretty good. Now on mine, the yellow on here on the inner thigh doesn't go all the way up, so there's a little bit of blue, and I had seen a couple of these and I had noticed the same thing on a lot of them, so that's probably going to be a typical issue that you're going to see with a lot of them, but always really double check because you never know. And then on this side, you know, it really could have used one more coat of yellow on the blue, because some of that blue is bleeding through just right there, but other than that, it's really not a problem. The yellow lines on the boots look good. For the most part, we get pretty clean lines. The back of the figure, it gets a little wonky right there, but I wonder if that has to do with that code that's on there. A little sloppy yellow here on the back of the boot. Let's see, on the arms, could have used another coat of yellow paint. A little blue scuff at the top of her head there, but really not too bad. A little bit of scuff right there on her chest. No issues with the arms. Little tiger stripes look okay. A little fuzzy right there on the back. But, you know, I think this is one that you definitely want to look closely at the figure in the package to see if any paint blemishes or anything, to make sure that you're getting the best looking one that you possibly can get. Before we look closely at the figure, let's go ahead and look at the articulation. So she is going to look all the way down, so that's good. Not going to get a whole lot of up because that hair is going to get in the way. And I really like that they gave it that blowing in the wind effect, kind of like the X-Force X-23, but a little bit more so even on this new one. And actually, the X-23 head looks huge compared to that one. that's okay. But anyway, going on with the articulation, arms can go all the way up. Look at that motion right there. So that is awesome. There is no bicep swivel. There is a swivel at the elbow. And then, of course, female figure, we get a single jointed elbow, which actually gives you just a hair over 90 degrees. So it actually works out pretty well, even though it's not double jointed. So I don't mind it so much there. And then the wrists do swivel and hinge. Both are fisted hands because we have the clawed hands. Now, these claws are the same as the male Wolverine, or some would say the real Wolverine. They're the exact same, so they can pop in and out without a problem. Diaphragm joint can go to the side a little bit, go to the other side a little bit. She doesn't really crunch down so much. She crunches back a little bit. Leg can kick that high forward. Oops, there goes her toe claw. Legs go out that far apart, so not a huge amount, but decent amount. Upper thigh cut. Double jointed knee, and that's a very good looking knee bend there. There's no boot swivel or anything, but the foot hinges up only slightly, hinges down all the way, and you do get ankle pivot there. And then you can see the toe claws. But as we look closely at the figure, we'll take a look at that. So there it is. Now before I go on to that, we want to look at the accessories that she comes with. So she came with the left arm and wing to the Sauron Build-A-Figure. And this thing is huge when you really spread it out. So inside the package it comes like this and it barely fits in there. So when you really spread it out, you know, you could get a huge wingspan on there. Really cool. And then one nice little surprise there, it's the plastic that they use is semi-translucent. So in the light, in the bright light, you can really see it really shine through. So that was really nice that I liked that we got to see that, as opposed to like a really dark plastic. So it's really cool. Now the paint on here looks pretty awesome. So it looks like it's actually done in this yellow semi-translucent plastic, and then the green is actually painted on. But the way they painted it, you know, on the back side and then on the inside, the way it looks, because you can see it come through the plastic, makes it look really good and really gives it that natural kind of webbing, not webbing, but you know, the webbed wing look to it, as you know, these hard parts where the bones would be, really get that dark green. So that actually looks really good the way that paint comes out. So I am impressed with that by Hasbro. And then the way this piece even comes in, because you get a little bit of the translucent, not nearly as much as it over here, but you do get it, and then it goes into the harder plastic of the arm, and it looks good. Hasbro did a really good job on this. So, you know, I talked about the leg and how there's no paint variation in it whatsoever. The sculpt is good as far as the scales and everything, but it's just a flat green. There's nothing to it. But then you look at this arm wing, and it's awesome. You got holes in it too, there, here, and then even right here, there's a little tiny one that they put. So it is awesome. I know some people have already claimed that this is the best Build-A-Figure of the year. And it very well could be. When I have it all finished and put together, we'll take a look at it, and it could be. Right now, I think I'm leaning towards the Monster Venom or the Karl Obsidian for BAF of the year, but we'll see when this one gets put together. So it's really cool. Looks really good. And then let's prop this guy up. Okay, and as far as additional accessories, she also came with an unmasked head that I went ahead and already placed on the X-23, the X-Force X-23, and that actually looks pretty good. It actually, the more and more I look at it, the head is actually a little bit bigger, I think, than it should be, but from far away, it really doesn't look bad. And then the other thing, and I'll show that a little bit later as we kind of get the closer looks at it, it sits very odd on those ball pegs, but as we get the close-up again, I'll show you why I say that and what my thoughts are on that. So let's get right to it and get close up on it. Okay, and there is the X-23 Wolverine. So the face sculpt, I think, looks pretty good. She has that kind of, not a growling face in any way, but she definitely has a very serious look to her. And then here you can get a really good look at the hair blowing in the wind and how that's sculpted, so that looks really good. As far as the paint on the face and the head and the mask, the cowl, comes off looking really good. I don't have any paint issues other than, you know, that little blue blemish that's on top there, you can see, but doesn't bother me so much. You know, things like that are going to happen from time to time. It's not that big of a deal. She has this X-Men belt here. Now this is actually not the same as the one from the X-Force. So you can see that the belts definitely are a little bit different. This one has a little bit more sculpting to it. And this one's pretty plain. You got some silver and red and the X, the black also, and then the rest of it is just done in a brown color, and that's the color of the plastic, no paint, but it does kind of sit on there freely. It is not removable. So not removable then. And then here's a close-up look. You can see that yellow doesn't quite get all the way up on that thigh. And again, I've seen that on several, so double check yours and see if you can find one where it does go all the way up. Maybe you will find one that does look good. And then again, just some of that blue fading and coming through on the yellow. So a couple more hits of yellow paint would have been nice. Here on the feet, we get those toe claws, which are removable. It's very similar to like the ones on the hands, where you could just pop these out. As I do that and I can't get it out. But again, these are the same as the Wolverines. They just kind of sit in there, and they do sit tight enough that they aren't going to fall out. And you want to be careful, because I just kind of warped the hell out of mine trying to put it back on there. So don't do that like me. The toe claws are are thicker though, so you're not going to really worry about those getting warped. But you know, they are very small, so if you lose these, and it can be very easy to lose this, you definitely want to be careful, because I'm not sure how you're going to replace those. But they just sit in there like so. Not as tight as the ones on the hand though, so that's a little worrisome. If you vanilla pose your figures in a detolf like me, that won't be a problem. I'm okay with that. But if you're going to really do dynamic poses quite a bit and everything, I can easily see these kind of falling out on you. So definitely be careful, because you don't want to lose these, because that is pretty cool. Because the X-23 one, she didn't have that, but this one now does. So that is nice. Nice touch that they added in. So I like that a lot. So now we're going to put the unmasked Laura Kinney head on there, and then you can see the small ball peg for the teenage body. Same with the X-23. You can see it's the same. Now, the weird thing on this one is, this sits very, very far forward on this ball peg. And if you look, if I can get some light on there, I can't really get any. Okay, so if you look, that ball peg hole is all the way in the back of the head. Now, because of that, it's the placement can get very tricky. So if you look at the hair is just down, so we don't get that that wavy hair effect on this one like we did with the other ones. So the hair is sculpted so it fits over her shoulders and everything. So the way this head has to fit, you know, most it kind of sits there and you can just kind of pop it in. But this one was a little bit tricky because of where that ball peg hole is. So you have to work it all the way to the back. So you may need to move the ball forward. So see how if it's back a little bit, you're not going to get it on there. So you definitely want to make sure that it's forward a little bit or straight up, so you're going to be able to even pop the head on. And it fits on there like so, but there is no give trying to get that head to go up whatsoever. There is no movement. Down is not a problem, but you can see it's just going to go down like so, and you can work it, but it does not go back whatsoever because of that thick hair. You're not going to get it to move, and you can see that it's very far. So her neck is back here, but her face is over here. So I feel that it sits a little too far forward, and it doesn't look as natural. And because of that, I feel like the face is a lot closer than the body is, which makes the head look bigger, look almost a little too big. If you go to my Instagram account, I posted pictures already. And you can kind of see that how it looks. It looks big when you really look at it closely, but I think it's just kind of deceiving because of how it fits on that ball peg. But there it is, and I think that does look really good. I think Hasbro did a good job on this head sculpt. Looks like a real person. It's got a nice serious stare to it. and the paint that's applied to the lips and the eyes, the eyebrows are clean. So I like that. I like the way that looks. There she is. And then, see? Toe claw just popped off on its own. Definitely want to be careful. See, now this head, that ball peg, is back there, but it's definitely a lot easier to get onto the body. And I look about it, seeing the way it sits, it doesn't sit so far forward because it's kind of down a little bit. But maybe that's just me and how I kind of look at it. You guys may not think so much when you have it in hand, but if you guys have it, let me know what you guys' thoughts on it with it like that. But there it is. X-23 Wolverine. Pretty awesome figure. Very happy to have it. I think it looks good. It's, you know, I know a lot of folks don't necessarily like a lot of the modern takes on characters, especially when you have somebody like this take the Wolverine mantle when everybody wants Logan Wolverine. But it is what it is. Good figure nonetheless. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up if you guys liked the video. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, I'd like to thank you for watching.